Hello and welcome to another episode of Northfield Junction. So, following on from the last update episode last week where we talked about laying cork, that is exactly what we're going to look at today. So, cork laying. There are a couple of different schools of thought regarding cork laying. Some lay cork, some don't lay cork, some lay something else such as track foam. There are other things you can lay. But I like to lay cork. I lay cork on my previous layout, it worked really well. So how are we going to stick this cork down, because there's a lot of it. So there are a couple of different ways of laying cork. Some people like to cover the entire board in cork, some people only like to lay the cork where the track goes. I myself, given the state of these boards, are not fantastic boards. I'm going to lay cork over the entire thing to cover up the rough nature of these boards and where they join. I don't need to see the joins. So I'm going to cork the entire board. So how am I going to do that? So when I lay cork on my previous layout, I use copy decks. Copy decks work really well, but I can't see me covering the entire board in copy decks because it would take forever. It doesn't spread that well, and I think it would cost a fortune. So I'm not going to go down that route. I did consider double-sided tape. I think that probably would have worked, but again would have took a long time. So what I did come across this morning when I was in my local Wilkinson's was this Wilco heavy duty multi-purpose adhesive spray. Now what caught my eye regarding this was that it does actually stick, or it says it sticks cork. So let's give it a go. Right, so the plan here will be to open the roll. It says, brought the bluntest pair of scissors out of the kitchen I could possibly find, of course, just as you do when you're doing something like this. You always find the worst tools possible, especially when you're being recorded. Open it up. It's a hefty old roll, I'll give you that much. Take this piece of excess tape off, which I'll be needing you. To measure out the length. That'd be the dog. Actually, what I might do is I might not measure out the length because it might be a bit tricky with the roll being that big. I could have measured it and cut it, of course, but obviously didn't. So what I think I'll do is I'll just spray the board, just get something to scribe with. Again, never have anything handy when you're recording. And then what I'm going to do, just so I don't spray too much, because I don't want to waste this stuff, and also I don't want to spray bits I don't need to spray and make them necessarily stick in. I've got a couple of lines there, just so I know where to spray up to roughly. What does this say? It says shake well before use and ensure the area is clean and dry. Well, there we go, that's gone down there. I'll fetch that. I've got it. Oh, I'm done. It says make sure the area is clean and dry. There was no chance of that because we're in the carport. It's not a particularly dry place. Give it a good shake. Like so. And then just spray it on. Pay particular attention to making sure we go right up to the edge. Yep, sticky already. And then what we do, we position it on. I can already feel it beginning to grab a little bit. Make sure it's all lined up and smooth. Smooth it out. And hey presto, you've laid some cork. It couldn't be more simple than that. So what I'll do now is I'll just trim the edge. If you can see me down here, just trim the edge. And there we go. That's pretty well stuck already, to be fair. Let's put 1 or 2 bits down here. This corner, for example, where I just need a quick squirt. Let's hold it down for a second. And we're done. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put something on top of this to hold it down to get it to stick. I'm going to do a bit more, and then I'll come back to you and show you how I've got on. So, welcome back. I think you'd have to say that that's not looking too bad at all. A couple of things to point out. It sticks pretty quick. When you spray it on and you get your cork down onto it, so I'm just tapping down a few bits I can see that are raised. You've probably got about 10 to 15 seconds, I'd say, before it becomes difficult to move. It does still slide a bit. Cork is obviously quite malleable, is that the word? It's quite easy to move, it stretches quite well, so if there are any gaps between sheets, for example here, I can see there's a tiny little gap. I can sort of, you know, manoeuvre and push and prod and get it into place. It's pretty easy to lay, it's easy to spray, it doesn't take long, it sticks pretty well. I need to put a bit of something on top of 1 or 2 of these just to hold it down, but I'm quite pleased with it. I think that'll make quite a nice quite a nice starting point for the layout. That'll look quite neat and tidy. So I'm going to carry on. I'm going to do a bit more, and then we'll come back when it's finished. Hello, welcome back. It's several hours later now, and I've got pretty much all the cork down of the part I wanted to do today. I've not completed it all. There's obviously still a bit to do at the back, and we're still missing the right hand wing that has not been added yet, but I've covered the rest in cork, and I think you'll agree, or at least I hope you'll agree, that it looks quite good. Would I say it was absolutely solid as a rock and will never come up ever again? No, probably not. There were a few edges where it's a bit, it's not stuck perfectly, but I can tidy those up with a bit of Copydex around the edge. But overall, I think it's pretty good. I'm quite happy with that. It gives me a lovely, nice, flat base to work from. Got rid of all the undulations that were on that board that was underneath, and got rid of the joins where the two boards join together. There's a little bit of a lip there, but nothing that will cause us any problems once track's laid and tacked down. So I think overall that's pretty good. So that just about wraps up this cork laying video. If you want to see the next video in the series, which will be finishing off the cork laying at the far end, adding the wing and putting the cork down there, and then we'll start looking at track plans. So if you do want to see those videos, please make sure you subscribe, make sure you give me the thumbs up at the bottom, and click the little bell icon and select notifications to all, so when I do upload that video, you'll get a notification. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.